So this one's going to be actually very interesting because this woman, this is when she starts to, take over the conversations. But they're essentially, nope, I forget what the topic was here. But she's going to bring up some interesting stuff in regards to those that read the word and those that don't, and her interpretation, and really just kind of her story. So let's see what she got going on.
I do believe, and people are going to be probably upset with me that are conservative Christians, and people are probably going to be upset with me that are liberal Christians, but I got to speak my truth, right? So I do believe that there has been, and people might find it shocking, but I can't be on this platform and not speak from the heart, that there has been a bit of it, not even a bit, an agenda, right? That is not in alignment with the Word of God, okay? Now, I cannot say 100% that because the Bible has been around and there's pages missing and all this type of stuff, that it's 100%. Because there's a lot of things I've read in the Bible, although that's why I choose, the book I choose to align my life with, that has been deeply disturbing to me, and that I did not agree with. And it's so wild to me that I'm
going to run that back real quick, because that's very interesting.
The Bible, although that's why I choose, the book I choose, stuff that because the Bible has been around and there's pages missing and all this type of stuff, that it's 100%. Because there's a lot of things I've read in the Bible, although that's why I choose, the book I choose to align my life with, that has been deeply disturbing to me, and that I did not agree with.
Interesting. I wonder what that was. The part where Paul says this, that women got to submit to their husbands. It's like, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I wonder. I'm actually curious as to what parts is she referring to, because that's actually very interesting that she would say, because there are some parts that are very disturbing. There are parts in the Bible that's disturbing. There are parts where if somebody that's new to the faith started to read the Old Testament and read Joshua and saw the things that they had to do, the amount of people that Joshua had to kill, I think people would be like, yo, this can't be the same Bible. This can't be the same God that these people are worshiping. This is that same God. A lot of people, I can see them digging into that. The things that some of the Israelites, I forgot which, was it the Benjamites? One of the tribes, or was it two of the tribes, had done something so disturbing. So disturbing. But it's in the Bible. It's history. That's what happened. And we may not like it. I hate that it was in there, but it's in there, and we gotta take it for what it is. This is the truth. This is history. That's like saying I don't like history. Now, when it comes to Paul and his teachings, you could say you don't like Paul and his teachings, but you can't deny what was history. It's history. No. And
it's so wild to me that we go so hard for a book that most of us have not even read in totality. Let's keep it 100. So that's one thing. That being said, I can not agree with something, but still advocate for somebody's humanity. Mm-hmm. I cannot agree with something, and I can say, I don't think that certain things should be taught to kids in school. As a Christian, as a woman, as a teacher. I also don't think there should be church and state. So everybody could be upset with me. I don't agree with it. None of it. Okay? But at the end of the day, we are not God. And I think that the issue, a deeper issue for conservatives and liberals is to say, I don't agree with that. And to still be able to love someone past that. To compartmentalize. I have a lot of liberal beliefs. I have a lot of conservative beliefs. I'm for the kingdom.
Amen.
I love all y'all. But I'm not dying on a hill for none of y'all. I'm here representing Christ.
The Bible and you disagree with the Bible, that's not.
Then you're not really ready
the Bible. Like, if you don't love the Bible.
I don't believe I've ever said I disagree with the Bible. I said, out of my truth, because I'm not going to sit up here in front, I've actually read things in the Bible that disturbed my spirit, and I went and I prayed for it. If I didn't believe in it, and I have nothing to prove to you, if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't have turned to God and said, God, can you help me with this? I want to understand this. There's also if you want to get into it, we can. There's also the Old Testament, so that's a different covenant, right? So that's a totally different thing. I'm very, very capable, able, formidable, and prepared.
I'm highly disturbed with or her gestures and such. Like, I'm like, what is even going on in your mind right now? Depending on the person, if she wasn't the Christian like individual that she's portraying herself to be, and if she was just like any typical black person, she would give, this one right here would give off the idea that she is racist, because it seems like with the black people, they always got something to say, because clearly it's the black women that are saying stuff that she doesn't agree with. But actually, no, Asian as well. One could throw out there that she's racist. I don't think she's racist. She's just very heavy on the book. But again, going back to the verse, 2 Timothy 2:24-25, we need to be gentle and be willing to be patient so that we can guide people to the truth like she was doing. It's not that hard, y'all. It's not that hard. Well, some people may be hard.
To have this discussion in a biblical text, if you'd like. Very capable. And I'm capable to learn too. What I am saying is that from a biblical sense, there are things I do not agree with. I'm actually agreeing with y'all to an extent. But what I'm saying is, I still believe in someone's humanity. So if you want to go get married in a church, that's none of my business. That's between that church. If another church doesn't want to marry someone, that's none of my business. They have that free will.
Yeah. And I think probably what's being discussed or could be discussed is when the state intervenes in the church and maybe mandates or restricts a church on their belief based on that, like we should, I think, have freedom. We can, whether we as Christians believe what they're choosing, we have the freedom to believe that. Or for example, when the state comes in and mandates that nurses have to practice an abortion. I mean, I think that's when, where we have conflict with the freedom of someone's religion and the state. And I think our government is based on Judeo-Christian, our law is based on the biblical law. And people might want to try to avoid that, but it's true. And that's quite a challenge, but we have to protect people. If there were not laws against murder, if there were not laws, or pedophilia or things, and I'm seeing more and more, or children in, with surgeries or parents' rights, or it's getting muddier and muddier.
So it's very interesting as I sit and I think about it, as everything that I just read in regards to the separation of the church and state. It brings me back to the idea of all the churches. And it's interesting that this is something that Thomas Jefferson had came up with, but it brings back the idea of everybody wanting all the church, like this you can't do at no church, which kind of goes against the situation of separation of church and state, in a sense of now we're trying to dictate what all churches can and cannot do by the law, by the court of the American law. I would denounce that and say that the Apostle Paul would say otherwise. He wouldn't come and say, the Apostle Paul wouldn't come and say, the Church of Corinth, oh, you guys want to do this, or you guys want to do that. You guys will accept this. You guys will accept that. That's fine. But the Church of Ephesus, oh, you guys want to do this, which is different from Corinth. You guys could do. I don't think Paul was here for denomination. He's trying to bring everybody into God and have everybody live in a Christ-like lifestyle and come as a community in a Christ-like lifestyle, which would mean that we would all have to be unified. We would all have to be unified on how we go about our day-to-days, how we congregate with one another, the things that we do, shouldn't do, how we should act and shouldn't act. And just like what we said in Timothy, our approach when it comes to dealing with people that aren't of the faith, or when it just comes with having conversations or debates with others, how we should present ourselves. This is part of like the law that we have, in a sense, as those that follow the way. So it's a little different from the law of America, where Thomas Jefferson was like, we want everybody, every church to do what it is that they wish to do. Now, if they have congregations and they build, their congregations up and they have different church plans, that's fine. But I guess with Thomas Jefferson, his idea was, if I have my Southern Baptist Church here in Georgia and I have my Southern Baptist Church in, I guess, Northern Baptist Church or Baptist Church, I don't know, in New Jersey, then I can do what I want with both locations because those are my locations. But I can't go to a Seventh-day Adventist church and be like, yo, we need to follow the same law. That's kind of what Thomas Jefferson is saying. Or I can't go to a Muslim church or a Muslim mosque or a Jewish synagogue and be like, yo, we can't do this, we can't do that. I can't do that because now I'm disturbing somebody else's congregational entity, denomination for that matter. Very interesting. Unless I'm wrong. Again, I could be wrong. Y'all let me know in the comment section which I think, or, correct me. I'm down for correction. But that's actually very interesting the more that I began to think about it. I wonder.